years ago, PKP Intercity in Poland introduced the combo car in their intercity trains. This looked intriguing, and I finally had a chance to experience a trip in one of these. Join me and let's see what this design is all about. The opportunity came during our 2024 visit to Europe when we had to travel from Świnoujście in northwest of Poland to Gdańsk, a trip along the northern part of the country. The ride from Świnoujście to Szczecin Dąbie was on board a Koleje Zachodniopomorskie train to Szczecin Główny, the main station in Poland's second largest coastal city. We alighted in Szczecin Dąbie and waited about 20 minutes for our connecting train to Gdańsk. A few other trains went through, the first one hauled by the newest electric locomotive in PKP Intercity fleet, an EU 160 series loco, and the second one by a rebuilt diesel, the SU 4220-011. Finally, our intercity service arrived, the IC 81104 Rybak from Szczecin to Białystok, a very long haul across the north of Poland. Let's board our second-class combo car. First impressions are good, and the interior of the open seating area is like other modern Polish refurbishments. And yes, this is a refurbished railcar, as PKP Intercity does that more frequently than procure brand new equipment. Rather, it's a complete rebuild from a standard compartment car to this combo configuration, as nothing like it existed before. There are only about 36 places in this car, 22 of which are in this open saloon with an additional 12 in two compartments, plus a couple more in the single accessible compartment. An unexpected result of this low density seating is that the two restrooms at either end are almost always available. Okay, so what's the layout of the complete car? Let's head back to the front vestibule and find out. Here's the next car over, which is a typical PKP Intercity modernized second-class compartment car. The country in northern Poland is this typical gently rolling agricultural landscape. The line we were on is undergoing a major rebuild, and we often stopped at sidings to let opposite traffic through. Let's start our car tour. The first feature is a large handicapped restroom with automatic doors that somewhat misbehaved in our car. Otherwise, the restroom was clean and everything inside worked well. Next comes the similarly large handicapped compartment for at least one wheelchair-bound passenger plus some companions.
Przypominamy, że świadczona usługa gastronomiczna z wykorzystaniem wózka minibar.
At this point, the corridor narrows and we encounter the first of three compartments, this one a very narrow compartment for the train crew. Wait, we just passed the other two compartments, marketed as family areas, adorned with children graphics and with foldable seats to give the little ones plenty of space to play. Let's take a closer look. And then comes our 22-passenger open saloon section with the bay of 4 seats for our group. The seats are typical of many Polish long-distance cars of late, comfortable enough without being standouts. All but 2 of the seats in the open space are in groups of 4 around a table. The tables are generous in size and provide plenty of space for laptops, game boards, or anything else that you might want to share with your travel mates. There are foldable armrests on either side of each seat, and the center armrest is shared. There's plenty of space when only one person occupies the 4 seats, but even with 4 people, leg space is not a problem. There's a small amount of recline, controlled by these red levers. And of course, there's a power socket for each passenger grouped in pairs under the center of the seat. Individual coat hooks complement each seat, and the windows have a pull-down shade which worked quite well. There are reading lights for each passenger, and along the length of the open space seating you'll find large luggage shelves. The headrests are very deep, which is a bit annoying during the day, but should be quite comfortable at night. Seat numbers are shown on the aisle end headrest as well as above the seats. The single pair of face-to-back seats are similarly comfortable, although with a reduced window space.
Pociąg w kierunku Poznania, Bydgoszczy, Wrocławia będzie z tego samego peronu odjeżdżał.
There are footrests for each seat and a large shared trash receptacle. Each fold-out table is large and pretty sturdy. Below the table you'll find a storage net. This relatively small area of open seats is quite cozy and proved to be very enjoyable on this trip. There's no restaurant car on this train, which is quite a surprise for an overall journey that takes about 12 hours beginning to end. There was a trolley service during several portions of the trip, and we partook in a couple of coffees and a tea, which were very expensive.
What if it means something, Callie?
The information display cycled through this map screen, which showed our progress on a small-scale topomap. There were a number of intermediate stops along our portion of the route, 14 to be exact. Here's our stop in Koszalin, a busy railway junction station with connections to Kołobrzeg, a popular coastal destination. the end of the car is the second standard-sized restroom. Everything was clean and working well except for the finicky sensor-activated hand dryer. For some reason, toilets equipped with air hand dryers throughout the PKP Intercity Classic fleet tend to be weak and difficult to start. This one was no exception. It worked, but after a lot of hand waving in the sensor area. There's space for quite a few bicycles, looks like maybe 8 or 10. In this space there's also a niche prepared for installation of 2 vending machines, one with drinks and the other with snacks, and hopefully sandwiches. These were not present in our car, but I understand that PKP Intercity has signed a contract for providing and servicing these.
Intercity. Życzę oddanego pobytu. Do zobaczenia.
The trip went by relatively quickly, even though we stopped a few times to let traffic in the opposite direction go by. The PKP network manager is rebuilding a large portion of the line we were traveling over, including the station area in Słupsk. In the end, we were about 20 minutes late arriving at our end station in Gdańsk, which overall was not a bad delay considering the work going on. We are arriving in Gdynia, the northernmost city in the Tri-Cities area, with the other cities being Gdańsk and Sopot.
Tutaj nie, tutaj nie dojdą. To są specjalne dla dzieci. Dlatego...
I don't know, I don't remember you have a Polish ending.
After a lengthy stop in Gdynia, we stopped in Sopot and then finally arrived at Gdańsk Oliwa, our end station. This is the first of 3 Gdańsk stations, followed by Gdańsk Wrzeszcz and Gdańsk Główny. As I mentioned earlier, we were about 20 minutes late. I enjoyed our trip in the combo car. It's quite an innovative concept where most of the functions expected in a modern train are concentrated in one location. Handicapped accommodations, train crew compartment, family compartments, bicycle racks, a convenient section with seating around tables, and in the future vending machines can all be found here. Add to this the rather homey vibe created by the small open section of the car, and you get excellent facilities for traveling long distances. Our train still has more than 5 hours of travel to reach its destination.
Yeah.
I hope that you enjoyed this video description of the PKP Intercity combo car and hope that you'll join me for a future video. I leave you with a few views of Gdańsk, a great destination city in north-central Poland.